Hello everybody. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. We had a good time myself. We went down to Georgia, spent a week with the grandkids and watched our little granddaughter perform in the Nutcracker, and we had a wonderful time. But everything's back to what it was now. Spending a lot of time at work and getting some time out here in the shop. And why are we looking at the workbench today? Because there's nothing on it. Well, during some spare time, I came out here and took all the equipment out of this corner over here and did some rearranging. And thanks to Patreon support, I was able to go out and buy some more equipment because I wanted to start doing some better videos and do more capturing and stuff in some videos. So we went out and we bought a new computer and got it installed, and I'm working with some different software. So let me show you what we're doing. So you can see there's a little small camera right here that's on this arm, and that is pointing to a piece of test gear spectrum analyzer. And up here in the ceiling you can see a camera right here that is looking straight down over the bench, and that's one of those I think that's how you pronounce it, webcams. And something else that I want to do is make this bracket adjustable so I can move this up and down. So I got to go to Lowe's, get another piece of aluminum and swat it out and put some thumb screws in it so I can loosen up and move this camera up and down. And I think that will make that better. And I also have a Logitech webcam sitting on this little tripod over here looking down at the bench. Now you can see in the background where it's dark at is our new Asus computer, and it's an i5. I didn't go with an i7. I decided to go with an i5. Right now, walking in stores buying a computer is a little bit difficult because they just don't have a lot of stuff in stock around here, and I checked different places around, trying to find a good deal, and this is what I come up with. Like I say, it's i5. It only came with 8 gigabytes of memory. It's expandable up to 64. Solid state drive, and it's a little stick, that's just plugged into the motherboard. There's no hard drive on it, but sitting on top of it right up here is a 6 terabyte drive that's plugged in, so plenty of memory storage on it. You can see right here is our Blue Ice microphone that's plugged into the computer. Now we still have the other mic system for the Canon camera, but on this display and doing it this way, I will just be relying on these webcams for recording. Now the little camera that's pointing at the test equipment, I'm going to replace that one. That's an old Microsoft Live Cam. It works okay, but the quality of the video is not as good as it should be. So you can see this whole corner of the bench has been redone, and I've took some shelves out. I built a new shelf, and I got 2 monitors there, and I want to put in a 3rd monitor. I just don't figure out when to put it yet, but I want to put something in so when I'm recording I can watch the output of the record in it. And I got some test equipment here, and there's our Andestar digital microscope and our Amscope trinocular microscope, and over there is the old computer in between the two separations of the workbench, but it's down to one monitor now sitting here. So I'll still use that computer, but I'll use it probably mostly on the other bench. I'm going to get another monitor, figure out where to put it over there so I can pull schematics up when I'm working on that bench, and just doing some general, web surfing or whatever. But the real star of the show is going to be this central computer system and those two monitors up there. So as you can see, we're running OBS Studios, and with OBS you can live stream. So I'll be able to start doing some live streaming now, or you can just record it to a file. And as you can see on the monitor, there's 4 different pictures, and we're seeing all 3 cams here. The view, that's one looking at the spectrum analyzer, that's one looking, that's the Logitech looking at the bench, and there's the that's mounted up in the rack looking down, and this is desktop capture. But I can easily select through here to the different cam views. That's the desktop. There's another view, and then there's the test equipment view. So this will make it real easy for doing videos this way, and using these cameras as a way to capture what's going on. And again, I can switch back to all 4 view that catches everything. Now I think you can put up to like 5 cameras on this, but it gets a little tricky. There's no way you can show that many cameras on screen, but you can have cameras pointing to several different things, and you just go ahead and set up different scenes of what you want to show. And like I say, I've got the each scene, you can see what's over here is tied to that, and what's turned off and what's turned on. See, this is just the Logic Cam audio and the Logic Cam. Here we're looking at the Logic Cam audio again and the display. The Logic Cam audio seems to be real good on that. In fact, you can see it. I'm 5 foot from the Logic Cam, and you can see the audio meter is working pretty good. And then there's the top cam, and I'm using the Logitech audio again. And then there's the life cam with the Logitech. Nope, that's using the snowball. Now you see the snowball is not as good from this distance, so I'll have to play around with that. But again, I normally wouldn't be standing 5 foot away behind the camera like this. Okay guys, this is just a little quick demonstration. I'm not using the Canon cameras or the Sony anything. I'm using the webcams, the screen capture, all in OBS Studio. And you can see on the top left is actually the desktop, and showing a schematic of a radio. Top right, we see the Logitech camera looking down at this radio that's on the bench. Bottom left is the overhead cam, that's the on cam, and it's looking down at the radio. And then you can see the bottom right is the little Microsoft Life Cam pointing at the spectrum analyzer. Now the good thing about the Life Cam that I got on this little old lamp arm, I can move it around. Like if I wanted to show the signal generator, or like over at the a frequency counter, or come down and look at a watt meter, or even come over and look at a voltmeter, and I can also pan and tilt down inside the radio and get a little bit of better shot. Now this is one reason why I wanted to upgrade this old Microsoft Life Cam, cause it's not bad, but it could be a lot better. And I think what I'm gonna do is take the on-camera that's overhead and put on this mount, and I want to get a better camera for this overhead view that's here, so that I can get a better view of what's on the bench. I want to get something that's got a zoom in it. I have seen some webcams like that, so I would like to be able to do that. So we can focus back on the spectrum analyzer here. But the good thing about this is that you see I can transition between screens. Like here's the Logic Cam looking at the radio from the side. We can go to whatever's on the desktop and go to the overhead view, and this is where a better webcam up there that has zoom feature and stuff, so you know you can bring this focal length on down. Like I say, I was thinking about making this arm adjustable so I can move the camera up and down, but it'd be a lot better if it had a zoom on it. And then here's a look at the Life Cam, and I forgot to lock the handle so this thing wouldn't drift down. But you know, that makes it pretty good, and I really like the transitions here between each scene, and what it is each scene. Let's see, I think I can show you more about what I'm talking about. This is the Life Cam looking at the monitor, and you see I got one scene, it's got all of it. Then there's another scene here, and you just click on these different scenes to get different views, and you can add more stuff, different desktop views. That's when another third monitor would come in handy for that. The thing about it, you know, when I'm, positioning cameras, I would stop recording at that time to get the cameras moved. But you know, I can take any of the cameras and move them around or whatever. All but the camera on the overhead, it's kind of like in a fixed position, so I can't really move it around. Okay, so I've been using the Microscope with the other computer, and it works fine. You can see there's a image on the screen, but the reason why I don't like using this computer is the video graphics in this machine is just not enough to handle the Microscope microscope. So you see, if I put my finger under there, you can see how it's like it's in slow motion. If I move fast, you can barely see my finger, and that would be the same thing at using, you know, a soldering iron or something of that sort under this. You know, even my pointer, you can see it does not capture the video that good. Now this computer does have 12 gigabytes of memory in it, and the video card is not the best. So yeah, there's a lot of lag in that. So one thing I wanted to do was get this Microscope hooked to the new computer, but for some reason Windows 11 does not recognize the camera. So I got to do some more troubleshooting. I went online and I searched, and there's very little information about this. I did see, well, one guy had called Microscope and told him about this problem, and the guy the customer service told him that it's not nothing I can really help you with. So yeah, that's kind of way it is. Now maybe, I don't know, go to a different microscope camera or whatever, but this camera on this is the Microscope MU233-FL, and for some reason it doesn't like Windows 11, so we still got to work with that. And another thing is that, you know, we have the Star 409 Pro, that really is incredible little microscope, and it does have a HDMI output. Now you can connect this directly to a monitor and there's no problem. So I got HDMI inputs on the other computer, and I wanted to see, I went online, checked around, and there is software that you can run to capture this microscope on a computer just like you can on Microscope. But run into a problem with that. So there's a program here called Microscope Measure. But every time you try to run it, after I installed it, and it says the code execution cannot proceed because MSVR 100.dll was not found. So I got to go online to see if I can find that DLL file and try to get it installed and see if that will solve the issue. It usually takes several clicks to get rid of it. So our little Dino light microscope works fine with the Dino Capture 2.0 software, no problems at all. But you know, I have to do some research and see if I can get that problem solved. Like I say, Dino light, no problem, but the Star and the Microscope is a no-go so far. So we'll work on that, see if we can figure out what's going on with it. Now this computer is a 12th generation i5 12400, and you know, 64-bit operating system. And it's not too bad for the price. The price was real good. And one thing I do like about it, it has a SD card slot in it, so I can plug an SD card right into it, and that's what the Canon camera uses. And this, once I upgrade the memory, in fact I've already done it. I've edited a video in this already just to see how it would go, and it works just as good as the big computer that I got inside. As far as some editing video, you know, we hear a lot of people talk about you need big fast computers to render video and edit and all that stuff, and it only makes a couple of minutes difference that I have seen. Now others may not, you know, have their own opinions about it, but it is what it is. So, you know, again, I think this will be a great addition to the shop here by doing all this. And you know, I've only done one live stream since I've been doing YouTube videos, and it was okay, but you know, I could tell that the quality of what I was using was not the best. The old computer, it was donated by a viewer. He built it, and at the time it was great for what we was doing. But when you're doing more stuff like you know, video editing and live streaming and stuff, you need faster computers, and this one seems to handle that with no problem. Another thing that really got my attention was when I brought this out and I hooked it up, I still had the hardwired LAN connected to the other computer, and I only had the it comes with a little Wi-Fi antenna, and it splits off and actually got two jacks in the back that it screws into. And my router is a wireless router. Now it is about 250 foot from here. It's in the house in my computer room, and believe it or not, using just the router, I had a great signal and was able to log on when I set this computer up with no problem, which is now hardwired. I got a hardwire going to it, but yeah, it was even receiving the signal from the router, so I was happy with that. Alright, so again, anyway, like I said, I want to replace that old Microsoft Lifeline, or Life Cam, whatever you want to call it. That's what it looks like, and it doesn't even have a mount, so I had to screw this into a little block of wood that I cut out so it fit in this old camera mount. And it does have a microphone and a button on the top for shooting stills, but I want to replace that. I want to see if I can find a nice webcam and I've seen some online that's got zoom on it, and probably mount that one up on the piece up front and take the one I got here and put on this mount, and I think that would make for a better setup. You know, guys, back in the day when 286s come out, I used to build all my own computers, and you know, the first IBM style computer I had was the old XT that I had built, and didn't even have it in the case. Everything was laid out on the table and plugged in, and I ran that thing for a long time. You know, then I built 386 machines and on up, and even had a I don't know if y'all remember the old WWIV software. We had bulletin boards back around. I used to run a bulletin board that had 8 CD drives on it, 2 phone lines in. But I am no computer expert. So if anybody has any suggestions, you know, like on the webcam, or why I cannot get this computer to recognize those microscopes, please leave your comments down below. Anything like that helps. And guys, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. I just wanted to throw this up. I got a bunch of videos to edit now and try to get up. I just haven't had the time to get to it. And like I say, I was gone for a little over a week, and then been out here tearing this stuff down and putting it back in place and trying to get it more user friendly, or you know, to be able to make better quality videos. So guys, if you have any suggestions, you know, like on a good quality webcam, you know, let me know. Or what is, some of you might be familiar what's causing the issue with the microscopes not working on this new Windows 11 computer. You know, leave your comments down below. We always like to hear from you. And with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and end the video now. And like I say, I got a lot of videos that's already in the queue. I just got to get time to edit them and get it uploaded. Anyway, thanks for watching, and guys, we'll catch you in the next video.